How to use D2L for working through the MGD 268 course. Let's take a look at where the various components of this course reside and how to use D2L for working through this online MGD 268 course. So let me come over here into Firefox, my favorite browser. Anyhow, here on the home page in the news section, this is where I introduce each class session. I will be developing this course one class session at a time and releasing that to you when it's at the beginning of each week when the class session starts. And I will always provide a kind of an overview message here in the news section to guide you to where the information exists here in D2L for that class session, as well as how to access that information and what projects and assignments are due. You can see I have a welcome message up at this time. Also, I wanted to point out that to access the content for each class session, you'll find it here under Content in the D2L menu bar. And here is class session 1. This has a brief overview of the class session as well as the class session objectives that we'll be working towards in that session. And then you'll also see that down here in this area, you're going to find the various documents needed to work through the class session, with the main one being this one here called Class Session 1 or Class Session 2, etc. And if you click that, it will open up into the actual class session content. Looks like D2L might be moving a little slow today. Come on. There it is. Anyhow, here it is. And I always started off with what your reading requirements are for the week. And again, the course book is How to Start, Run, and Market a Successful Arts and Creative Business. And this week for class session 1, you need to do chapters 1 and 12. Not 1 through 12, but 1 and 12. There will be a quiz this class session over the syllabus to show that you accept the terms and understand what's expected in this course. And assignment 1 will also be assigned this week. Then I go into the overview of instruction and concepts, and some of this is in writing for those of you that like to learn via writing, as well as there are videos that are embedded directly into the page so that you can access them. Anytime you see something in blue with a line under it, notice that if you hover your mouse over it, that this is a link to a document, and this right here is a link to the course syllabus to download it. And then it goes down into the various different sections of this class session for what we're going to cover. These are links as well that kind of go over these areas. And like right here, what are the traits of a freelancer? Go ahead and click those. These are YouTube videos. I create a lot of video, and I also use YouTube videos to present information about this class. And here is business types, what is a business plan, business structures, all the way down to the classwork, projects and assignments, and ending with questions and concerns. But you can access all the information for the class session here under Content. The next area that I'd like to cover is assessments and the Dropbox. You'll see I have set up here in the Dropbox all the assignments, all 9 of them, that you'll be graded on in this course, as well as the 3 projects that you'll be graded on. Just note that assignments are 40% of your grade and projects are 50% of your grade. Here in this column, it provides the due date for when they are assigned, and most of these projects or assignments here are due 1 week later. Though for each of these assignments, I do have an information sheet that I pass out that gives you more information about what I'm looking for, as well as I provide past student work, good assignments and projects that got A's for you to see a little bit of what I found really good in previous classes. But just know assignments are usually due the next week on Monday by midnight, whereas projects are due on a set time frame and they vary. The project information sheets that I pass out will give you that information. And this is where you drop your work. Also under assessments, we have grades, and you'll see if you go to grades that you can access all of the various drop boxes as well as see what your grades are for each of these. Right now, of course, no one's turned anything in, so there aren't any grades, but pay attention to the grades area of the assessment. You can access quizzes here through assessments as well as the rubrics for the class. And that's kind of the assessment menu. I wanted to point out another item here, which is discussions. It's under the communication menu. And if you click that, and I'll go ahead and do that, it opens up the various discussions that we will be having in this class. Again, because this is an online class, you're going to find that I use the discussion board quite a bit. I expect you each to respond to every question I put up there, as well as to read through your classmates' responses and respond to them as well. Again, just to point out from the syllabus, respectful critiques are what I'm looking for when you look at other people's work and what they're putting. Always use constructive criticism and be respectful of others in this class. Another area that we'll use, or that I'd like to point out, and I hope you use, is the locker. And if I click on the locker, this opens up into an area where you can upload information. That could be any work you're working on. Let's say that you have a home computer and you want to go into the computer lab in room 214 and work on something there. You might want to, instead of using an external hard drive or a thumb drive or a flash drive, you can just go ahead and upload it here to your locker and then log into D2L on the computer lab machines and access that document. Notice that you have a total of 977 megabytes available to you here in the locker. And this locker could be used for any of your classes here at D2L, not just this course. Finally, the last place I want to point out in D2L is how to get to your email. And if you click this little mail icon up here in the title bar and then click go to email. You could also choose go to pager, but I never use the pager in this class. But if you go to email, it will open up your email that you have for this course, just this course, here in D2L. Every course you have here at CCA has its own email area for you to respond to and from to classmates as well as your instructor. Any communications in this course needs to come through D2L. And that's the way I will be contacting you, and please use it to respond back to me. The final area I'd like to point out is if you are not familiar with D2L, notice that over here on the far right corner at the top of the page, you have D2L student resources. I can zoom in. There we go. Student resources, D2L student quick start guides, D2L system checks, etc. And these are all just for helping you learn how to use D2L. So if you are not familiar with D2L or how to use it, I highly recommend you take some of the training courses. And I'll go ahead and click here on D2L resources. And you'll see that there's a quick reference guide, there's a getting started, content, how to use the content area, how to use discussion boards, how to use the Dropbox, how to use email, how to access your grades, how to use your locker, your personal home page, and how to take a quiz on D2L. So please keep that in mind. If you're not comfortable with D2L, that even prior to working through class session 1, please work through these various little tutorials about D2L so you're comfortable with the interface that we're going to use for this class. As always, if you have any questions about anything I've just covered here, please send me an email up here in the email and just ask. Otherwise, keep moving on with the class